So I just wanted to say hi to my friends and family and just encourage them right now during this time. Uh, we're all at a loss right now because Josiah isn't with us anymore. He's my best friend and the closest man I've ever been to. But I just want to share with you that I have this hope that I just know that he's in a better place right now, and that the Lord showed me this vision the day that he passed, before I knew he passed, that he was kind of down, trembling in pain, and he looked up and this bright light shined on his face, and he just had this biggest smile, and he looked up and it was his daddy in heaven, and he reached up and he was like, and the Lord pulled him up, and it was so beautiful. And I know there's some doubts with some people that are thinking maybe this was self-inflicted or that Josiah did this to himself, but I just want you to know that Josiah would be pissed at anybody that really knows who he is and how he operates, that anybody would think that way. But if you don't know him, I would understand you thinking that way. When the officers first basically told Alicia, oh, that it would seem like it was self-inflicted or whatever, that's all I heard, and I was like, what the hell? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But then when I kind of investigated everything that had actually happened with Alicia and those closest to him, his best friend Peyton that lives nearby, and how that's his spot that he goes and he hikes to all the time, and he climbs that cliff all the time, and he always shimmies down these rocks. And even 2 weeks ago he shimmied down like a 1,000-foot cliff just over the edge to pick up garbage, and my little brother Jeremiah was like, yo bro, you're making me nervous, man. And he's like, what? I have no fear. And he comes up with all this garbage because he just wanted to clean the earth up. But also too, I just want to encourage you that that morning or that evening before he passed away, he was having the best night ever with his daughter Peyton and with Alicia, his wife. They had such an incredible night, and that morning they had a great morning, and they went to Oyama where Josiah was working, and he had Alicia kind of like mediate a conversation with his boss where he was doing some landscaping stuff for a resort, and so that Alicia could kind of interpret to this lady that Josiah didn't want this lady kind of talking in his ear the rest of his work week that he had ahead, because he was doing all this yard work and this lady that he was working for would always talk in his ear. So anyways, he was so adamant on Alicia coming with him to do that so that he could, you know, enjoy the rest of his work week, and they were making plans for the rest of their week. And anyways, he leaves the house to go, so I'm going to go on a walk like he normally did, and he walks to the end of the yard, and he comes back and goes, oh shoot, how long can I be gone for? Because that's what he does. Every time he would go, he would ask Alicia, how long can I be gone for? Because he wanted to take care of his daughter Peyton. So she goes, 2 to 3 hours. He goes, okay, 2 to 3 hours. And that's what he would do. He would generally obey that and listen to that. And obviously he went on the walk, and when he was on that walk, I know that Josiah, like, this is what he does. He goes on walks with the Lord, and he would always go up to that mountain. He took me to that mountain 1.5 years ago and showed me it, and he was like, this is my favorite spot. And we hiked up there in the snow, and it was incredible. But I just believe he was just in the presence of God, just at the utmost peace. And as Moses took off his sandals in front of the burning bush, I know Josiah believed that too when he was in the presence of God. And Josiah would go the extra mile sometimes, and this is pretty often normal for him. He would take off all his clothes when nobody was around in a secluded area. And I just believe that he was in the presence of God, and maybe he hiked down the edge of a cliff like he did just 2 weeks ago over here, and he got to a beautiful spot that he was just having a glorious time with God and just in nature, because that's what he loved. And maybe he was trying to climb back up and he fell, or maybe the Lord just took him, you know, because he was just having such an incredible time. But I just want you to know that anybody that knows him, I hope you're not doubting him in that way, because as his brother and his best friend, I investigated all these steps leading up to it. And first of all, it doesn't make any sense, because I know Joe, if he's in pain and he's struggling, he's a fighter, and I've seen him go through that. He fights till the end. And he just zoomed me too, how excited he was to see me, and how excited he was for his new baby on the way, and the plans that we had this summer to do. We had a series we were doing, and it doesn't make any sense to me why this happened, but I believe that the Lord called him home, and that the Lord fulfilled Josiah's purpose. God gives us all a purpose on this earth and this world, and he fulfills that in us. And he's uplifted me in my walk, in my faith, in my whole life, with just making me courageous in my career and boldness in my life. And he's always just been like a rock in my life. And that's going to live on. His legacy and his purpose is going to even live on through his kids, through us, through his brothers. And I just want to encourage you that even though we're sad and we're mourning, that like Josiah is in that great place, and he wants you to be there with him too, and he wants you to know there's a God in heaven that loves you, and that not to worry about him, but just live that purpose that he lived for, to serve others and share God's love with others. And he was so passionate about his Savior Jesus Christ and his relationship with him. I don't know anybody else except for Grandpa Bill that was like that, and I know they're together now, and they're doing that. So I just want to encourage you in that way, and just tell you that I love you guys, and I just anybody coming to the celebration of life, I can't wait to see you and to celebrate Joe, and let's just live that legacy for his kids and his wife, who are just so strong and wonderful. But yeah, I love you guys. Bye bye.